Deep in the tropical rainforests of Southeast Asia lives a creature local people have long called the person of the forest, the orangutan. It's not the fastest animal, not the most aggressive, and it doesn't live in loud social groups like many other primates. And that's exactly what makes it so unusual. The orangutan chose a different path: silence, height, and solitude. Behind its calm gaze and slow movements is one of the most remarkable minds in the animal world. Today, orangutans survive in only two places on Earth, on the islands of Borneo and Sumatra. Most of their lives unfold where human feet rarely reach, high in the rainforest canopy. In this video, you'll discover why orangutans are so similar to humans, how their brains work, why they spend most of their lives in the trees, why they live alone, how they build a new nest almost every night, what mothers teach their young for nearly 8 years, and why this extraordinary animal may disappear together with its forest. So let's begin. At first glance, living high in the treetops might seem dangerous, but for an orangutan, height means safety. It's a carefully shaped survival strategy. On the forest floor, predators are a constant threat. Up in the canopy, the risks are much lower, and this is exactly where most of their food is found: fruit, leaves, young shoots, sometimes even tree bark. For an orangutan, the rainforest isn't just a habitat, it's an entire world suspended dozens of meters above the ground. To move through this world, evolution gave them a remarkable body. An adult male's arm span can reach nearly 2 meters, longer than the length of his own body. Instead of leaping from branch to branch like many other primates, orangutans move differently. They travel through the forest slowly and deliberately, almost as if they are swimming through the trees. Quiet, precise, nearly silent. And it's not just their long arms that make this possible. Their feet work almost like hands. They can support their entire body using all 4 limbs at once. Their toes form natural hooks that grip branches securely. Because of this, an orangutan can hang for hours with very little effort, sometimes even while sleeping. It's a body perfectly adapted for life high in the rainforest canopy. Today, scientists recognize 3 species of orangutans. The Bornean orangutan is the largest and the most numerous. The Sumatran orangutan is slightly smaller, but considered the most inventive. And the third is the Tapanuli orangutan. Its existence as a separate species was confirmed only recently. In fact, it was officially described in 2017. But researchers immediately understood something alarming. This species is already on the edge of extinction. Fewer than 1,000 individuals remain in the wild, an incredibly small number for such a large primate, which makes it one of the rarest great apes on Earth. Orangutans are surprisingly similar to humans, and that similarity doesn't begin with appearance. It begins with the brain. An orangutan's brain is large for its body size and deeply folded with complex cortical structures. This kind of brain architecture is typical of animals capable of advanced memory and flexible thinking. One of the most developed regions is the cerebral cortex, the part responsible for learning, planning, and decision-making. Researchers have also found strong development in areas linked to observation and imitation. That's why orangutans can learn simply by watching others. They remember routes across vast areas of rainforest, keep track of where fruit trees grow, and can even plan their movements several days ahead. Some experiments revealed something even more remarkable. Orangutans have been observed saving tools and using them later, exactly when they were needed. That means they can hold a goal in mind across time. For a long time, this kind of future-oriented planning was believed to be uniquely human. There is another important detail. An orangutan's brain develops very slowly. That's why their childhood lasts nearly 8 years. This long learning period allows them to build memory, survival skills, and a detailed mental map of the forest canopy. And it is one of the key reasons orangutans are considered among the most intelligent animals on Earth. An orangutan's childhood can last up to 8 years. That's the longest childhood of any land animal on Earth. During all this time, the young stays close to its mother. She teaches it how to find food, how to move safely through the treetops dozens of meters above the ground, how to build strong sleeping nests, and how to recognize the dangers of the rainforest. But most importantly, she teaches it how to remember routes through the forest, fruit trees, seasons. Without this knowledge, survival in the rainforest simply isn't possible. That's why the bond between a mother and her young is especially strong in orangutans. A female usually has another baby only once every 7 to 9 years, because each young orangutan must first learn how to survive on its own. If you watch an orangutan long enough, you begin to notice something unusual. It almost never rushes. Its movements are slow, calm, and extremely precise. But this isn't weakness. It's a survival strategy. Orangutans have one of the slowest metabolic rates of any large primate. They conserve energy carefully, and they use it only when it truly matters. This strategy allows them to survive even during times when food becomes scarce. In a rainforest environment, where fruit availability changes from season to season, that becomes a major advantage. Moving slowly helps them save strength, avoid unnecessary risk, and survive in a habitat where many other large animals simply couldn't. Every evening, an orangutan builds a new nest, high in the forest canopy. It bends branches, weaves them together, and creates a strong platform to sleep on. Sometimes it adds a leafy roof for protection from rain. Sometimes it builds a headrest. Sometimes it reinforces the structure with extra branches. It's careful work, and it takes experience to do it well. Young orangutans spend several years learning how to build these nests by watching their mothers. But why build a new nest almost every night? The answer is survival. A fresh nest is stronger. It supports the animal's weight more safely. It reduces the risk of falling while sleeping. It helps avoid parasites, and it makes the orangutan harder to detect by predators. Each nest isn't just a place to sleep. It's a temporary home built in minutes, high above the forest floor. Unlike chimpanzees and gorillas, orangutans live mostly alone. That's unusual for large primates. But in the rainforest, this strategy works surprisingly well. Food here is unevenly distributed. Fruit trees ripen at different times and are often spread far apart. If too many animals stay close together, there simply wouldn't be enough to eat. So living alone reduces competition and increases the chances of survival. But that doesn't mean orangutans don't communicate with each other. They just do it differently. They remember their neighbors. They recognize distant calls through the forest, and they stay connected even when they can't see one another. So their solitude isn't isolation. It's a strategy shaped by life high in the rainforest canopy. Adult male orangutans produce a deep, powerful call known as the long call. This sound can travel for several kilometers through dense rainforest. With this call, a male announces his presence to other males. At the same time, he attracts females nearby. It's a way of declaring status and position within the forest. In an environment where animals rarely see each other directly, sound becomes the most important long-distance signal. The long call is a message carried across the canopy, a signal of strength, experience, and dominance. Adult male orangutans develop a striking physical feature. Large, fleshy cheek pads grow along the sides of their faces. Scientists call them flanges. These structures make the male's head appear much larger, and they help amplify his long call. Flanged males usually dominate the forest, and they tend to attract more females. But there's something even more surprising. Not every male develops these cheek pads. Some remain without them their entire lives, even after reaching full maturity. Researchers still don't fully understand why this happens. Many believe the development of flanges depends on social conditions, competition, and the presence of other dominant males nearby. It's another reminder that orangutan society is far more complex than it first appears. Rain is almost constant in the tropical rainforest. Storms can begin suddenly, and sometimes they last for hours. But orangutans have learned how to deal with it. They often use large leaves as natural umbrellas, simply holding them above their heads while moving through the canopy. And sometimes they build extra cover directly into their nests, adding layers of branches and leaves for protection. It's another example of how orangutans adapt to life high in the treetops, through observation and experience. Today, orangutans are facing the threat of extinction, and the main reason is the loss of their forest. Rainforests are being cleared, roads are expanding, plantations are replacing natural habitat, cities continue to grow, and as the forest disappears, so does the orangutan tome. Every section of lost rainforest reduces their chances of survival, and this is happening right now. The orangutan is not just another animal of the rainforest. It is one of humanity's closest relatives on Earth. It learns, remembers, builds, cares for its young, and passes knowledge from one generation to the next. But its world is getting smaller, and the question is no longer whether orangutans can survive without us. The question is whether we can preserve the forest together with them.